Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Quantum Blade Gaming. Today we're going to do a game review of modded Minecraft. So what this is and is not, sorry, mute that background noise. What this is and is not, it's not a mod review, that is, we're not going to look primarily at one mod and review that. Instead, it's more for people who really are not all that familiar with modded Minecraft. Maybe you've heard that there are mods, you've heard that they're cool, but you don't know that much about them. This video's for you. So, hello, welcome. And, so what can you do with modded Minecraft? Well, things like this. This is a tower I've been working on for quite some time. I actually started on this tower back in, I think it was Minecraft version 1.6.4 maybe, and I've brought it over through several map resets. This is a slightly older version of Minecraft. This is version 1.7.10. I think the current version as of when I recorded this video is actually version 1.9, so you may notice some differences if you're familiar with the current version of Minecraft versus what you're seeing here. So, modded Minecraft just adds tremendous amount of things that you can do versus the base game. So for example, just the armor I'm wearing. This is nano armor that comes from Industrial Craft 2. And instead of durability damage, it has power. So the power drains as you use it, and you can recharge it instead of having to try and repair it. All sorts of interesting stuff. Where to start, really? So you might notice, let's start with the obvious, these awesome bridges here. These are light bridges. It comes from the mod Light Bridges and Doors. Love these things. So they're actually redstone sensitive, so you can actually turn them on and off. And they do have door versions. You can see the emitters there. I don't have them hooked up right now, but that makes a vertical version that comes down and would seal this entrance. At one point in one of the versions of this map, I had it sealing the door automatically at night. Then there's things like these guys from Tinker's Construct. Essence berry bushes. And what do essence berry bushes do? Well, once you have the berries, you can equip them in your hand, right-click them, and it gives you XP. Pretty nifty. Then there's also, let's see, so many things I could cover here. It's hard to pick which one to talk about first. Let's see. Oh, these guys. These are from the Iron Chest mod. So basically they give you upgrades to chests so you get more capacity. Like this is your standard wooden double chest versus a gold chest. Has this much storage. There's even a diamond and crystal chest. I don't have a diamond chest around to show you, I don't think. The crystal chest has the same capacity as the diamond, the crystal has the same capacity as the diamond chest, only it shows the items that are in it. For that reason, it's often banned on a lot of servers because it hurts server performance. Let's see. These guys, these are cool. These come from the Ars Magica 2 mod. They make great elevators. I like them. So you might be wondering about all these blocks that are making up the bulk of my structure here. There's a mod that I'm running in this mod pack called Chisel 2, and it just adds a tremendous amount of things that you can do. So you make yourself a chisel like this, and you right-click, you drop a block of material in. There's certain materials that work with chisel, and there's some that don't. And then you just choose what you want it to be chiseled into. Right? And it puts that texture on it, and then you can place it in the world. You can also chisel things in place, although I found that to be a little buggy sometimes, and it takes more durability damage. Because you can chisel an entire stack at a time, and I believe it still consumes the same amount of durability damage on the chisel. One chisel will last you a long time, though. Even this lapis here, this is smooth lapis, that's Chisel 2. Let's see. Let's show you. Let's go up one more floor. Ow. I think I'm out of battery juice in my elevator. So these are an XP drain. You see my XP is draining, and it's actually going into these tanks. So it's a great way to store XP in case you need it later. So you can see here I've got a lot of pretty much full tanks. That's a lot of XP with room for a lot more. And let's see. So some of the textures from the chisel mod are animated, others have connected textures, so you can see all these spinning fans and working gears. That's all of that is all of these are Chisel 2 mods. Chisel 2 textures. Say mods. They're all from the Chisel 2 mod. They're textures from the Chisel 2 mod. There we go. I'll eventually say it right. Notice this one, that's a connected texture. So you got 4 blocks that were all chiseled with the same texture, but they're sensitive to whether or not they're placed next to other blocks that have that same texture, and so they modify themselves accordingly. You might be wondering what this thing popping up over my head is. That's a hang glider, which combined with the jetpack I'm using is just ridiculously overpowered. That hang glider comes from the Open Blocks mod. I've got backpacks here, so when I go mining I can carry additional stuff with me. In the world at large, we don't want it to be night right now. In the world at large, we're running a mod called Biomes O'Plenty. And so you get awesome biomes like this. This is a cherry orchard, I believe it is. Let's see, does it say here? Cherry Blossom Grove. Love this biome. Biomes O'Plenty adds some ridiculously large number of biomes, but it makes exploring the world at large just so much more interesting. So let's see. This pod over here that's really an eyesore, I do apologize for the color scheme. It's pretty terrible really, but this is where I'm keeping most of my Industrial Craft 2 stuff. So you see here I've got a bunch of machines that do different things. You can extract rubber from sticky resin. Sticky resin comes from certain types of trees. Extruder for shaping certain kinds of metal. Roller is also metal forming. Compressor. Induction furnace for smelting. The advantage to a lot of these machines, typically your mods add either automation, exploration like Biomes O'Plenty, where it modifies the world to be more interesting, or a few of them actually add additional like monsters and things to fight. We're running one mod on here called Hardcore Ender Expansion that is pretty much a complete overhaul of the end. Adds so much to it. So a lot of times with the utility type mods, things like Industrial Craft 2, Thermal Expansion, Ender.io, those will often give you bonuses for processing your stuff through their machines. So you can like double your ore output, combined with actually being able to automate things. Makes most of those mods very, very interesting. Now, I will say that Industrial Craft 2, in my opinion, has gotten a little bit difficult, I guess. I hate to just say difficult because difficult and interesting are just shades of the same word almost. But in my opinion, I think probably the mod that hits the sweet spot right now, come over to this pod over here, is probably Thermal Expansion. Okay, so the Pulverizer basically does the same thing as, if you're familiar with IC2, you might be familiar with something called a Macerator. It's basically Thermal Expansion's version of a Macerator. Similarly, the Induction Smelter here, very, very similar to the Induction Smelter in IC2. but just the difficulty of making these machines versus the difficulty of making the IC2 machines is significantly different. So in my opinion, the thermal expansion machines right now are kind of hitting that sweet spot of difficulty to benefit ratio, even though, like, if you're looking for a challenge, the IC2 machines will keep you busy a lot longer. So for example, if we go, and you've noticed I've kind of kept them separated. I'm trying to keep most of the mods in this separated. If you combine things, a lot of times you can find, I'm not sure I should call them exploits, but the easy way to do things, and sometimes that's with one machine from one mod and another machine from a different mod. So if you're willing to keep them separate and actually work on them separately like I've been doing here, then you get to experience both more or less as they were intended to be without taking as many shortcuts. I forgot now what I was going to show you back over here. One thing that IC2 has that thermal expansion does not. This is an elevator, by the way, not IC2 or thermal expansion. This elevator comes from Open Blocks, but it basically pairs this one with another one that you can't see up on the next floor, and so to go up there you just stand on top of it and jump, and that teleports you. And to go down you stand on top of it and sneak or crouch, and it goes down. So up, down, pretty useful. So anyway, one thing that IC2 has that thermal expansion does not is nuclear reactors. So yeah, you can get uranium, process it into uranium fuel rods, set up your whole reactor. A lot of detailed posts about that on the internet on, you know, what's the best way to set up your reactor, what components, how long will it take, how long will it run before you have to replace components, all that kind of stuff. In this particular version of IC2, they also have a whole kinetic system, which you saw the windmill running out there. That's part of the kinetic energy system. But they've come out with a way where you can build like a containment vessel around this nuclear reactor. And I've taken it down because basically you build the containment vessel and you generate steam, and then the steam you turn into kinetic energy, you turn the kinetic energy back into electricity, and then that, so more like a traditional nuclear reactor, and you get a lot more output from your reactor that way. But it's kind of, I tried to set it up and it didn't work real well. For starters, you need distilled water, which I've got here in this tank, because the distilled water, if you run the non-distilled water through your turbine will calcify, and if the calcification reaches 100%, your turbine just poof disappears. That block gets destroyed. So ultimately, the whole complex steam setup didn't produce any really much more power per se than the there's those of you that have tried IC2 before may be familiar with the MOX fuels. MOX fuels give you more power the hotter the reactor is, and so the steam setup doesn't really give you that big a benefit versus running a hot MOX reactor. Now, normally you would have a large argument in saying, well, the steam is safer because you don't have to run the reactor hot. But in this mod pack that I'm running, I actually have a mod in there that's specifically designed to work with Industrial Craft 2 that does monitoring of temperatures and things like that. So ultimately, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with my reactor overheating with the MOX fuels. So I took down the containment vessel and the associated stuff. So let's see, what else do we want to point out? That's Moonstone down there. This falls at night. Can't remember if it only falls during a full moon or not, but it's used in Ars Magica 2. Oh yes, these bushes. These are from Natura, and so they're a nice source of renewable food. They don't give you much hunger back, but you can eat them beyond when your hunger bar is full. So you see right now my hunger bar is full, but I can actually eat these, and what it does then is fill up your saturation bar, which you probably are familiar with saturation bar if you've done much with Minecraft, basic Minecraft in the past. Basically, if your saturation bar is full, even though there's not a graphical representation of your saturation bar on the screen, if your saturation bar is full, your hunger bar is going to last a lot longer. So it's a good thing to have your saturation bar full. And so I can just keep eating these until I can't eat them anymore, and then I'll know my saturation bar is full. I keep calling it a bar even though there's not actually a bar that shows. So there we go. So you see I can't actually eat any more of that. My saturation is now full. You might have noticed my weapon glowing a minute ago. This is a Nano Saber. It's, again, from Industrial Craft 2. If I right-click it, it turns it on, and it hits enemies like a truck. If I don't turn it on and I hit them with it, it's kind of like hitting them with a stick. Let's see. Oh, no tour of modded Minecraft would be complete without showing you my Stargate. Yes, I have the Stargate mod in this one. You might notice, I hope my sound is up high enough where you can actually hear. It doesn't much look like it, though. Some of the Chisel 2 blocks actually have associated different sounds with them. I'm going to try and turn the desktop sound up a bit so that you can actually hear this as I'm walking across it. Let's see. Boost that up real quick. Go back in here. Okay. Now I'm looking at the volume meter in OBS, and that still doesn't look like you can probably hear it very well. Hold on one more second. Let me tweak the mixer. Hopefully you can hear that. I don't know if you can or not. Anyway, I'm going to put it back like it was. Actually, I'm going to put it back a little louder than it was. Because the Stargate sounds are coming up too, and you definitely want to be able to hear those. Because they're just amazing. Yeah, I'm going to actually increase this a bit above 100. Make that 175. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that'll be good. See. I'm actually going to unmute my tab on Twitch where I'm monitoring my own feed and see how this is going to sound to you guys, because I can't tell through OBS. That's awkward. I'm not hearing anything on the Twitch stream. Well, I'm going to assume that it's just working, and for some reason Twitch is being funky and not letting me hear it, so I'm going to continue with the review and hope that I haven't been talking silently this whole time. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, give me a second here. It's technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, well, I hope you can hear both me and the sounds here of the stuff, but I can't really tell. So anyway, got another one of these elevators, kind of hidden, blends in. I got my normal. This is just a ye old normal nether portal. This is awesome right here. This is an Enhanced Portals 2. It basically acts kind of like a Stargate in a way, in that you can tell it specifically to dial to other corresponding gates that you have to have the code to get to them, but then you can set up stored identifiers so you can easily get to these other places. So if I wanted to go to Sheer Shaddai's place, I can just do that and start it going, and then of course it's draining energy, so you know, make sure I turn it off later. And it acts very much like a nether portal, except that it goes to other players' built gates, and there's all sorts of interesting effects that you can do. Not going to go into the whole review of this, but you can basically make these blocks blend in. You can make them transport liquids. I think you can even make them transport energy. There's just a ton you can do with this mod. But this, oh yes, this is the Stargate mod. Oh yeah, love that. So when you build a Stargate, it gets an identifier, and so you can actually dial in, and you do have to dial it in. Let's see, 1RR1 UDO, 1RR1 UDO, and then you click the big button in the middle. It spins, it makes the noises. It's amazing, and it will kill you if you stand in the vortex. And you can build an iris over it. So it's truly an amazing Minecraft mod. I love this one. Unfortunately, I do not see this one in a lot of mod packs, but I put this mod pack together, so I made sure to include it. So one other thing you probably noticed early on. Hello, Lucas. How's it going? One other thing you might have noticed early on is when I press E and bring up my inventory screen, you get not just the standard inventory screen from base Minecraft, but you get actually a modded inventory screen. So this is using a mod called Not Enough Items, NEI, and it is pretty much a critical component of any custom mod pack, or most of the public ones as well. And what that does for you is it just lets you go through and see all of the items that are in the mod pack, and more than that, it lets you know the recipes. So back in vanilla Minecraft, if you wanted to, say, build a pick, you just had to know the pattern for building a pick. Well, with modded Minecraft, that becomes quickly very impractical, because you get machines like this, and you say, well, what's the pattern for that? Well, with NEI, I can, if I'm not a mod, I can click on it to get the pattern, or right-click to see everything that item is used in. If you are modded, you can also use, by default, the buttons R and U to do the same functionality. So here, if I click R, I can see, oh, well, here's the pattern to make that centrifuge extractor. So I need electrolyzed water cells, I need an extractor, I need an advanced machine casing. Like, advanced machine casing? How do I build that? Well, I can press R on that. It's like, oh, well, I need all of these things to make an advanced machine casing. And oh, basic machine casing. Okay, well, how do I make that? Oh, that's how I make that. Well, iron plates. Maybe you want to know, okay, what are all the things that iron plates are used in? Well, I can, if I was not an op, I could right-click on that, or I can press U, and it shows me, oh, they're used in just all kinds of things, right? So NEI is really a critical mod for pretty much any modded Minecraft pack. So that's one that you pretty much want in all of them. So Lucas, just to let you know, this is a quick little video that I'm doing on it's a game review of modded Minecraft. So it's not a mod review. It's really for people that have played basic Minecraft but have not really played modded Minecraft, and just kind of giving them a feel for the vast world that is modded Minecraft, and showing them a few quick things about what's in there, and you know, how to get it and things like that. How is the volume, by the way? I was playing with that earlier. We'll do a quick example of how hard this hits when it's on. Not like one hit and spider's dead. I love this too, by the way. The tape measure from Bibliocraft lets you do measurements. Such a useful tool when you're building things. Okay, well, I'm not sure if my volume is coming through or not. I don't see Lucas saying anything. So, I guess that's more or less it for this mod. Before I end, let me just quickly run downstairs and show you the Ars Magica room that I've got down here. Since so much of this, several things are Ars Magica. This is all Ars Magica. These Nexuses, which look amazing, are Ars Magica. Got some liquid essence here that fuels the neutral Nexus, and the dark Nexus you have to feed it mobs. The mobs. I called this affectionately the chicken masher. I used to have it set up with pressure plates where they would automatically kind of jump over the wall and get fed to the Nexus here. But, yeah, so Ars Magica lets you do cool things like, let's say you're exploring and you run out of torches. You can actually set yourself up with various things. You can do almost everything with Ars Magica. You can lights, mining, combat. It adds additional bosses. It's a very, very cool mod. So yeah, I think we're going to leave this video here. So, let me discuss quickly before I end. Sorry this has rambled on a little bit. But I do want to mention how, so you may say, okay, I love it, I want to play modded Minecraft, how do I get it? The two major places you can get it are from Feed the Beast and Tekkit. Now there are probably some other alternative launchers, but these are the ones that are well known, they're reputable. So again, that's Feed the Beast or Tekkit. Just Google Minecraft Feed the Beast or Minecraft Tekkit, Tekkit, and you will find links for those. Now, the downside of getting an alternative launcher is you download it and then you start using it, and one of the first things it's going to ask for is your login credentials, which, I mean, they're trying to not distribute Minecraft illegally, right? So they're trying to make sure that you have a legitimate account. From an internet security standpoint, that feels a little awkward because you're downloading a program and then giving it your login credentials. But that's why I'm only recommending those two. Feed the Beast and Tekkit are both reputable. Just be sure that you're getting them from the actual correct site and not from some third-party site, and you should be fine. So anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to follow if you're on YouTube, or subscribe if you're, or sorry, follow if you're on Twitch, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And until next time, we will see you later.